Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I have pumped up Lodric. We've got him ready because I thought there's going to be plenty of people that are going to be deciding, should I just get myself this epic from the Fusion, Lodric Falconheart, or should I be pushing for the whole thing? Or there'll be plenty of people that are newer players that are like, is this guy really worth my resources? Is it worth my time? And anyone that can carry this type of ornament on top of their head over a long period of time has got to get our attention. So Lodric Falconheart, you need 4 of this fella, 4 of this guy to get the new Fusion Legendary. By the way, I'm going to go for the Legendary. I think he looks cool. There's a bit of a mixed opinion on this one from the community. I think he looks cool. I don't think having 4 of the same champions is cool. But then some people on the flip side of that said, I like having 4 of the same rares because it gives you more chances to get that epic. Which I guess makes sense. I wish there was 4 different epics. Then you could choose your one of your 4 epics. Maybe this actually, in the rares, is not a bad idea. Don't know. Maybe I was a bit harsh to judge. So, anyway. I've got him. I've leveled him. What I want to do is just run through where I think he could be good. I'm going to try and show you a view of what if you don't have books? What would I do with him? What if you've got books? How does he improve? And what are the kind of watch outs in terms of where you're going to use him? So for me, there's 2 places that I think he could be really good. I think Lodric has got a kit that suits Clan Boss, and he's got a kit which is great for Borgoth, the Scarab King. But I don't think he can suit both. I think you've got to make a choice. Or you've got to play him in a different way. So let's go through his kit first. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. So we have got an A1 with a decreased attack. A good percentage chance to land it, 40%, unbooked. So where do we use this decreased attack? Kind of any boss, really. Any boss situation, any harsh fight, it's useful. Because you take most of the bosses, in fact, all of the bosses, I think without fail, all of the bosses' damage scales from attack. So I'm pretty certain on that. I don't think there's a boss where it doesn't scale from attack. So decreased attack against bosses will reduce the damage you take. His damage as well is based on HP, which means that you can build him quite tanky and keep him alive, which I like as well, which is kind of nice. But he's not a hard hitter. So we've got decreased attack A1. If you book it out, it becomes a 60% chance. And if you use the Mastery Sniper, it becomes a 65% chance. So 2 in every 3 swings, you're going to get your decreased attack off. And it goes off for 2 turns. It's decent, but it's not great. It's decent, but not great. And we'll come back to that in a minute. We've got an A2, which does ally protection. Removes all debuffs from one ally. I love that. Then protects, then puts ally protection on that ally for 2 turns. I kind of wish it was on all allies. It would be a much stronger skill if this was on all allies. But where I see this being used on Clan Boss is you remove the stun of the person who's just taken a hit, and then you protect them on the next AoE hit. That's how I see this running. So basically, the person who's going to be your lowest health champion because they're your stun target actually gets a bit of a sweet spot protection on the next run. Maybe it's kind of good he only protects 1 champion because it means he's not exposed to death, actually. So maybe it's a cool thing. Maybe it's slightly different to how I would normally run it. But if you can book this to 3 turns, it makes it much easier to add into your setup because you just do a 1-for-1 against the Clan Boss. And yeah, every time the Clan Boss stuns, you remove that stun and then you protect that champion for the next hit. So I kind of like it. He's then got this ability here, which is a shield ability. So shields all allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. This is a good skill as well. This champion's max HP, and we know he's an HP-based champion. So you can get his HP up high. He's going to be putting out decent-sized shields. Someone said to me, don't forget when you book him, it's going to go up to 40%. It's not the way it works, actually. So he's going to get plus 5% for each one of these. So an extra 20% shielding of 20%. So 20% of this number, as in a fifth of this number, would be an extra 4%. So his shield will go up to 24% once booked. And if you book it fully, it becomes a 2-turn cooldown. So here's the challenge. Let's talk about first decrease attack. How effective is that against Clan Boss on this champion? And let's compare it against the big boys that we know are strong. So what I've done here is I've put everybody in against Ultra Nightmare on a 1-to-1 turn-based schedule. So everyone's running the same speed as Clan Boss. And we've got Lodric in here, we've got Coffin Smasher, we've got Padma, we've got Tyrell, and I've put Sepulchre in. What you want to look for is how often do they proc their A1 abilities if you don't have a counter-attacker or an ally attack champion in your team. Because don't forget, on auto at least, they're going to be using their other abilities throughout a Clan Boss run. So when this guy's got 65% chance when booked to land his decrease attack, only 45% if you use the Masteries when not booked, you're saying basically for every 2 hits, he's got a really strong chance of placing that decrease attack, but not a definite chance. And you definitely need decrease attack on the Clan Boss. So Lodric will be doing it 1 time in every cycle. If he's unbooked, this is an unbooked Lodric I've got in here. Sometimes he'll pop in with 2 hits on a cycle, but things like your A3 and your A2 are going to be out of sync. Now, if you compare that to Padma, Padma's got an 85% chance unbooked to land her decrease attack. So again, Padma will be on the same sort of cycle as Lodric, but a much higher chance to get decrease attack off. So she's easily the better champion unbooked. Tyrell will only be doing it on a similar vein to Lodric as well. So unbooked, maybe a slightly more often. So Tyrell, and Tyrell's got a better chance to land his decrease attack as well, unbooked. So Tyrell has got 40% chance each hit. So it's actually basically double that of Lodric for an A1 ability. So Tyrell massively better unbooked at getting your decrease attack away. And then Sepulchre has only got 1 ability that cools down. So Sepulchre, unbooked, has got way more chances to land her A1. Yeah, so if you're not able to book this guy, and you want to use him for that decrease attack champion for Clan Boss, out of these 5, he's the worst. The only way I can see you using him as your as a sole decrease attack champion is if you've got a counter-attack champion in the mix and you book his A1. Otherwise, I'd say he needs to be a secondary decrease attack champion. You need at least 2 people doing that role. But the cool thing is, he can fulfill another role. And that's what you're always looking for. If you're looking for champions that can come into your team, ideally they want to do more than one thing. And this guy can. This guy can cleanse your stun target. And he also offers up a shield for the second AoE. So yes, he is worth bringing into Clan Boss, but I think he would come in as a secondary decrease attack champ. The other thing I would say is, if you want him to be your cleanser, you even need... where is he? You even need to book this A2 out and get that 1 book here. That's the ideal. Otherwise, he's going to be running on a 4 for free, and at that point, you just would need to make him run considerably faster. It's not impossible to do, but you need to be running faster. Another consideration, if you've actually got books, so you want to definitely book this skill here, the A2. Now, if you want to run him in Clan Boss, and you want to use his Ally Protect and Cleanse, you've actually, again, got to think about what you're doing here. So if you book his A2 down to a 3-turn cooldown, and you book his shield ability to fall to a 2-turn cooldown, what will happen here? Let's just delay these so that he does his A1 first. So the order would be A1, A2, A3. That's what, no, sorry, A1, A3, A2 is the order you'd want him to go in. And that's the order he's going to prioritize. Okay? So if you've booked his shield ability down to a 2-turn cooldown, which is a fully booked shield, yeah, down to 2, look how often he'll do his A1 now. So he'll do his A1 once, and it always falls back. Because on a 2-turn cooldown and a 3-turn cooldown, he's basically going to get extra opportunity to use that A2 in between. So if you're solely thinking of him for Clan Boss, you actually don't want to get his shield ability on a 2-turn cooldown. You want it on a 3-turn cooldown, and then he will go A1, A3, A2 consistently across the board. Again, this might sound complex, guys, but you do need to think it through depending on what you want to use him for. So let's think about him as a board off champion. If you book out his shield ability down to 3 turns and you want to use him in that Clan Boss setup, he'll put out a shield for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, which means that you need somebody else to top up the shield against the Scarab King. Yeah, so somebody either to extend buffs like a Valerie or a Sandlashed or somebody like that, or you need a second shield champion. However, if you book him out in full and make this a 2-turn cooldown, he becomes one of the best champions in the game to consistently keep a shield up against the Scarab King. But he throws out your Clan Boss stuff. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, guys. So, yeah, I mean, is he useful unbooked? Yeah. I'd say if you're not gonna use him as your decreased attack champion, I would love to get a book here, but I feel like if you're not gonna book him in full, I probably wouldn't book him at all. That's where I'm at. Because if you put just a couple of books here, it makes not much of a difference. You're going to need 2 shield champions for board off anyway, unless you book this in full. So I wouldn't bother really booking it just a couple of points. To get an extra, 1% shield per book here, doesn't feel like that's good value. So I either book this in full and use him against Scarab King, or I don't book it at all and I use him against Scarab King. That's the way I would run it. If I'm using him for Clan Boss, I would definitely want a book to land here. And if I'm using him for Clan Boss, ideally I'd want books here unless he's my secondary decrease attack champion. So look, I've rambled a lot. I'm hoping that's been helpful and useful because he's quite a complex character. And depending on what you want him for, I think he can be really useful. But you need to think about what you're going to do before you start throwing books in. So I'm going to book him. I'm going to try and book out the A1 and the A2. Now, someone said to me, click on the skill, and before you do your book, and it will always go there. I think that's a complete lie. It happened once in a video. We're going to see if it happens again. So we're going to say A1, be with me, A1, 6 books. Did happen in the video the other day. Oh, nearly. It nearly worked. We didn't get any books in that A3. So we've got our cooldown here. We've got, so I guess let's just say A1. We just want that final book. No, it's done all over the place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to keep booking him out. I don't want to get the extra cooldown here. So we're going to run him on Clan Boss first. There we go. Cool. So I do want those. So now I've got this booked. I've won the odds. So now I'm just going to throw 1, 2, 3, 4 more books in and turn this into a 3-turn cooldown here and leave the extra book aside. Okay, so now he, for me, is like a perfect Clan Boss champion. Shields, cleanses, and a strong chance of putting decreased attack out there. So the books have fell well for me, but there's a lot of books. So you've got to decide whether this is someone that you want to, properly invest in. I'm going to get him built out, and then we'll run him in some Clan Boss. So when doing his masteries, I've done him for like a standard War Master build, so diagonal down, straight down. I think that's pretty good on him. You could go defense or support. If you go defense, the reason you're taking defense is to get retribution, 50% chance to counterattack when he loses 25% of his max HP. So he's going to gain another chance to get that A1 away and to get his decreased attack on. That's the main reason you do it. Also, deterrence here will give you a chance as well when someone takes a stun for him to do his A1. And you get a bit of damage reduction. So it's a decent way to play. Also increases his shields by a little bit, but it's not that much. It's just for him. The way I think I will build him, if I was building him for board off or Clan Boss, my preference would be to take HP into increased value of shields by another 5%. Again, that's 5%. So it's going to be like another 1% actually in terms of his shields. I would then take increase the amount of healing and shields placed by this champion if the ally's got low health. So again, slight buff there on his shieldage. Increase the amount of healing and shields placed by this champion if someone's stunned is kind of irrelevant, really. It's not really something that... It's so situational that it's almost not worth taking. So I would then divert this way and gain more accuracy against my opponent. Because ultimately what I want to get to is sniper. I need sniper. I don't want to be taking rapid response because I don't want to mess around with his speed tune. So I would then take Laura's Steel if I want the extra bonuses from sets and stuff. Or I would take Evil Eye if I was going to use him against Scarab Boss. And then I would take Sniper and I would take Master Hexer. So Sniper, 5% more chance of landing my decreased attack. Master Hexer, if I do land my decreased attacks, basically a 1 in 3 chance it goes on for 3 turns instead of 2 turns. So kind of useful. So I think I'm going to end up taking this. And then it's not really worthwhile. I think Heart of Glory is the other one. So more damage when I'm attacking with full HP is probably the other one. So this is the type of tree. It's a fairly unusual tree, I'd say, for most champions. So, but there's different ways you can go. If you definitely need the accuracy, you take the accuracy. So that's how we've got him done. I've built him in lifesteal gear. So he's going to be coming into Clan Boss. I've built him for Nightmare, but this same build could also work for Ultra Nightmare as well. 179 speed, 3.9k defense, 61k health, 232 accuracy. I care about enough accuracy to land his decreased attack, the right speed, good amount of defense to survive the slams and stuff, and then a good amount of health as well to put better shields out and to survive the damage when he's got ally attack out. So how have I done it? HP ring with good roll, defense amulet, accuracy banner, and then we've got defense on the gloves, HP on the chest, defense on the boots, and then speed. Basically, then I was looking to top up speed and health wherever I could. If you don't have enough speed to do this, then you take speed on the boots and you would just have a lower defense number than this. So you'd be at like 3.3k. But this is eventually where you'd want to aim for if he's coming into your Clan Boss build. So let's get a team around him and see what we can do. Okay then, let's check out the build. So one thing to be aware of, Lodric needs to be faster than your stun target because he's going to have to go before the stun target to cleanse it off. But we've got Lodric's build here. I've already showed you that. I'm bringing in Bulwark as my stun target. He's also going to give me the chance to extend debuffs, which means that decreased attack can get an extension. 3.8k defense, good amount of health. Probably too much health for a stun target, actually, but there you go. 218 accuracy to land his debuffs and to extend debuffs. And he's my slowest champ. I'm bringing in a Kale as another poisoner. He's in Perception and Lifesteal gear. Everyone's in Lifesteal here. 175 speed, 3.5k defense, 225 accuracy. We're going to bring in Aox as a poisoner stroke secondary decreased attack champion. I'm not going to run a counter attack. I'm not running an ally attack. I need a second decreased attack champion. Otherwise, the run could fall apart at any time. So similar sort of builds here. High defense, high accuracy, good speed, high health. Going to bring Razin in as a decreased defense and weaken champ. High defense, high crit. He's going to do some damage for us. And then we're going to, and in terms of doing that, I've managed to get crit rate gloves on, defense percent, chest, defense boots. That's how his damage is going to spike. So to do that, you need to make sure you've got good speed sub rolls in other pieces that he's wearing. The speed sub rolls are not, I mean, there's one high one here and a high one here, but they're not ridiculous. So it's not unachievable, guys. You just got to farm some gear up. And then Bulwark's going to be our target. So he's got, good amount of base stats. So let's get into a Nightmare hit. Bulwark lead. We've got no counter attack or ally attack, as I say, so it's going to be all about just getting the rotation in the right order. So we're going to get a decreased defense and weaken out first. We're going to get from Lodric, I'm just going to A1 first, get decreased attack out, that's nice. So go poisons here, didn't land any. Poisons here, got a couple. HP burnout from Bulwark, and then we take a hit. And then you've got a chance to just extend these debuffs after the hit, which we did get actually. We got those off, which is good. For second ability, I'm going to shield. So every time before the second AoE would get a shield out in terms of the order. Don't need to do any of that, so we're just going to go poison again. And again. Just A1 here. Again, we're looking for as much debuff extension as we can get, and it looks like we're getting a bit, which is nice. Another A1 here from Lodric. And from this point on, A1 again, I can auto actually. So I'm full auto now. I've got the turn order in the right place for Lodric to do his thing. So let's just see if he does it properly. Stun's gone off. Cleanse, Ally Protect. Perfect. And the Ally Protect now is going to protect the stun target. If you think later in the fight, when he's taking a lot of damage from that stun, just protects the stun target next. Shield goes up for wave 2. But I think this run is in danger if I didn't have 2 people that can extend debuffs and a secondary person that can decrease attack. I think without those things, Lodric is not going to bring as much. But in terms of what he is bringing here, it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot, and I think it's actually cool. I think he's a good champion for Clan Boss. So I'm going to let this run through. I'll show you the results at the other end. And yeah, let's see what sort of damage we can do on Nightmare without the kind of crown jewel of counter-attack and ally attack. Okay, we're going to bring it back in. We're at turn 26. The Clan Boss is hitting hard at this point. We kept decreased attack on the whole time, which is good. Aox is doing a big job of that, though. We've had the odd time here where Bulwark's not taking a stun, which actually can throw out your tune because you still really want him to do this. He won't do it if the stun's not there. So it's just something to be aware of. It's actually one of the masteries I got on Bulwark that he can shake off the stuns. So just be aware of that. But it feels like this is pretty damn solid as a comp. You know, considering we've got some healing, we've got some shields, we've got life still going on, we've got consistent decrease attack out there. We're getting some debuff extension to just kind of solidify that decrease attack. But yeah, Lodric is doing a good job here. And I think this team is going to be pretty close to a 2-key team. Might not quite do it, but that ally protect there. So this is what I mean about the stun target taking low, being brought low at this point. He would be dead there without ally attack, 100%. So the ally attack, just keeping your stun target in the game at that point is kind of huge. Kale's taking a rest. We've done 19 million already, though. Still just about hanging on to this decrease attack through the whole fight, which is really cool. Oh, he's gone down that time. Couldn't take another hit. But there you go, guys. 20 odd million from this comp. I really like it. And I really like him. I think he's a good champ. So if you're needing that Clan Boss utility, I don't think he can be your decrease attack champion by himself. You would need a backup, or you would need a debuff extension to make sure that it's going to land well. But if you can do that, then I think he comes in and does a really solid job here. Let's see what he's like in the Scarab Boss. I'm going to show you 2 versions. I'm going to show you, if he's booked like this, what do you need to do? And then if you actually book him in full, what can you do instead? I might as well just play this out actually and see what sort of damage we end up getting here. 22 mil. Pretty impressed with that. For no counter attack, no ally attack. And the same team can run Ultra Nightmare as well. Bam, there we go. 22.3. What did he do here? So he's done, yeah, he's done next to no damage. You think about it, he's only got 1 ability that hits. So he's not going to do a ton of damage. 1.3 mil. But what he is doing is keeping the rest of the team alive. So I'm going to test this on Ultra Nightmare as well, just to see what sort of damage this same team does. It's undertuned for Ultra Nightmare, I think, so I think we're going to struggle. Some of the accuracies are a bit low. The speeds I've kept the same. So in this, I'm just going to rotate round 1 full cycle before I start doing my main abilities. I'm pretending like this is my second turn here, getting his shield off nice and early. This is where he would want to do his heal. Poisons with Cow whenever we can. HP burnout as early as possible. Now, obviously, with this comp, you You're going to want to try and get that debuff extension. If you don't have decreased attack against this guy, you're dead almost straight away. Got to resist there. Decreased attack goes on. More poison, please. Scale. Here comes the stun. As before, it's gone in the same place. So on auto, we should just cleanse that off. And then from here, really, with the same speeds as what I'm running on Nightmare, the run starts and it should just mirror what I was doing on Nightmare. So much harder, obviously. The Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss hits way harder. And with less hits, you know, no ally attack, no counter attack against Ultra Nightmare, it's incredibly difficult to get any sort of comp of this level running to kind of really, you know, get your team going. So we'll see how we get on. I'll show you the results at the end again. But I just thought it would be interesting to do just to see how we've done really with this sort of team. So I think we're about to die. Turn 16. Oh, we didn't die. We probably could have. Decreased attack has fallen off. Decreased attack's fallen off. We didn't get the debuff extension. And it's, you know, it's incredibly important on Ultra Nightmare to not lose that decreased attack debuff. So we've got lucky. We've kind of got through it one time. But I think we're probably still in danger of losing anytime soon. So this team, yeah, there goes big boy KO again, drop down. But it kind of shows really how challenging the step up from Nightmare is to Ultra Nightmare if you don't have your champions that do things like counter attack or ally attack. Because we had a comfortable 2-key on Nightmare. This is going to be, I mean, what do we need here? It's probably going to be 7 keys on Ultra Nightmare. That's the difference. I'll let it play through. We'll get to the end and see where we get to. But turn 22, either way on Ultra Nightmare, getting past turn 20 is hard to do. So really, the honest answer is we just don't have enough damage per turn right now to contest at this sort of level. But I just thought it'd be interesting to show you the real difference. You pretty much take whatever damage you're doing on Nightmare, halve it, and that's about where you're going to be sitting for Ultra Nightmare. Which is why unkillable teams are so damn popular, because they're so easy to get good damage out compared to a conventional team like this. But you see here, Lodric's done 280,000 damage, which is nothing. But he has kept the rest of the team alive. So there you go. Not ready for Ultra Nightmare, but for a Nightmare kind of setup, I think he's actually going to be really good. So let's get into Scarab King. Okay, so if we're going to be running Lodric in Scarab King, he could go as an aura. HP aura is not bad, but I think for this we're going to want the speed. So what do we want then? We need turn meter control. He's going to come in as our shield champion. If you don't throw the extra book into him, you have to bring someone else in who can do an extension of that shield. Otherwise, you'll run out of shield and the Scarab Boss will come after you. Or you bring someone in that can also do a secondary shield. So we can do this here. I'm just wondering at this level, actually, if I've got enough damage to get through this wave of Crisks. We've got a lot of people that do buffs and turn meter here, but not a lot of damage. Kind of reliant on my Armiger really to do all the work. I don't know, we're kind of chunking through Jizzo. He's gone. Can't come back as well. Broadmoor would be trying to bring him back, but Armiger did a cheeky block revive. I'm just going to get myself through the waves. Let's get onto the boss, and then you can see what's actually going on the boss. Okay, so we lost Elfguard. She's just a bit too low for this stage now. We come in with a shield set. We get our shield out straight away. So if you know he's going to get a turn and you don't have a shield set, then he's definitely going to put out his increased shield straight away. That's a good thing. If you don't book him out in full, you'll run out of shield. So Valerie comes in as a kind of shield extender. And as long as Valerie's slightly slower than your Lodric, then he's going to be absolutely fine. The challenge is if this Scarab Boss gets a turn and starts to rip your shields off. But as long as you stop him getting a turn, I think he's actually super awesome here. I think he's really good. And you can see we're kind of cruising through. We've broken that shield pretty easily. All we've got is a pretty low-level shield set here. We've got minimal speed, high Katoon here. We've got good accuracy, destroy set, Armiger. And then you've seen the build of Lodric. I've just changed him to speed boots instead of defense boots. So when he becomes even better, is if you book out his ability to shield, then you don't need the Valerie, and you bring in someone else for turn meter control, and then this is a cakewalk. So it may be that this is even his best spot. It may be that this is what he will be used for most, because you throw one more book into this ability, Valerie comes out of the team, and then all of a sudden you're kind of flying through. You're flying through this content, and yeah, I think he will see you through any level of Scarab Boss. Hard, doesn't matter what it is. He'll see you through any level of Scarab Boss at all. So if I was to switch out him, let's go for an AoE hitter. Yeah, so I think I'm going to bring in War Maiden for a decreased defense champ now. I think this runs on full auto as well. And basically now we've got an AoE decreased defense, which is going to help us against this Crisp Wave. And because he's now got this extra book, that shield, as long as he gets it out for the first move that he does, that shield will always be available, and we'll just be kind of cruising through the content here. So again, I'll get us onto the boss, and you can see how this works out. So I guess just remember, you either bring someone in a shield set so that this can't fail, or you have to make sure that you stop your auto. And at this point here, watch this. I don't have my shield set available. I don't have my shield ability available. So he's used his other ability. It now means we're probably dead. If I had a shield set on, I 100% live through this. But he's now getting a ton of hits off before we get a chance to get going, which is very dangerous. So just make sure that you either bring a shield set, or you make it so that he will always use his shield ability as his first ability. If he's able to do that, this is a simple fight. Like if I had any one of these guys in a shield set here, this is cakewalk. As it is, he's not been able to get his ability off, which means we're getting provoked. We get a shield away though, so we might still do it. Because now he's fast enough to always put shield on first. See, shield goes on. Always fast enough now to make sure the shield goes on before it runs out. And in which case, we just about survive. But I would advise, always bring someone in a shield set so that you can run it on auto without any fear at all. But yeah, for me, guys, look, Lodric Falconheart, is he good? I think he's great in 2 places. But I think you have to build him differently, or kind of decide which of those places you want to run him in if you're really going to get the most out of him. But I'd say for those not going for Astralon, he's decent. He's a decent epic that can play in 2 of the hardest areas of the game. So there you have it, guys. I've been Hell Hades. This has been my guide on Lodric. I'll catch you later.